the universe wants to share. Oof, so many. Okay, let's start with what we have, okay? The King of Swords. I feel like you've been dealt with very harshly. Maybe you had a parent who was very cold and who wasn't very loving or cut you out. Or even if you have wonderful parents, maybe you experienced this kind of energy in your life where you were treated with this kind of coldness, okay? And what happened is it wore you down. The Nine of Wands is a card of having, been through a lot of wounds that you have, but it's also a card of not giving up. It's a card of having that fight in you and still getting up and doing what you need to do. So, but I do see that all these wounds have affected you in your life, and it's time to start a new leaf with the Ace of Cups. And it's time to wash yourself clean from all the past pain and to offer peace to all the people or circumstances or situations that caused you to feel so fearful or feel rejected or feel hurt so deeply. And you see, there are patterns here with the Devil. So this is a card of negative or destructive patterns that you keep repeating in your life, and you need to identify what they are and you need to heal them. Okay, so maybe you identify with a relationship. Also, I'm getting that sometimes people confuse love with passion or sexual chemistry. Of course that's important, but that in itself is not love, or in that excitement or that the butterflies in your stomach and, feeling that sexual chemistry for somebody. People confuse that with love. And so ask yourself if you're doing that. Are you confusing love with just sexual chemistry and excitement? That's what we are trained to believe is love. And that is only very, very fleeting. It lasts for a little while. After that, do you have more going on? Do you have more in common? Do you actually love each other's company? Do you understand each other? Do you have good conversations? Are you kind towards each other? Do you bring out good in each other? Do you inspire each other? Do you elevate each other? Do you integrate well when it comes to living together or your families, or are you partners? That's what's so important. So if you just have great chemistry with somebody and you ignore all the red flags which show you that you really don't have anything in common, or they're showing you quite early on, you will see a lot of signs, and progressively you'll see them more and more. So it's asking you to really look at what you're choosing. What is love to you? First of all, ask, what is it that you truly want in somebody? And are you just getting carried away with that initial, the hormonal stage? And it is very hormonal, it's very scientific. Nature has created us like that. So if we're intimate with somebody, our bodies, our minds kind of get engaged. It's like an intoxication. It's like you're drunk for a while, and then once the high comes down, you then come back to your senses. So let's see, why are you still single? Show me, why are you still single? The Knight of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, okay, and the Lovers. So, let me get one more card. And the Knight of Wands. Okay, what I'm seeing is that unconsciously, you might be choosing people who will reject you. You might be choosing people who just look, like I said, they look a certain way. And it's very possible that this person kind of reminds you of somebody who has hurt you. Like it could be, like I said, your parents or somebody who you really trusted and loved. And you kind of find yourself going towards those kinds of people, and they always do. It's the same pattern you're repeating. They reject you, or they keep you waiting with the Knight of Pentacles. This is a card of things happening slowly. And so I feel like maybe somebody withheld love from you or took their time all the time. And in the long run, they rejected you. So you waited a lot for them. You just kept on waiting because you had this amazing passion. Because this is fire energy with the Knight of Wands. So there was a lot of passion. There was a lot of excitement. But at the end of the day, they did not make you feel safe. They did not make you feel like you were at home. And so this is something you're trying to resolve. You always felt out of the, you felt like you were outside looking in. You were never inside. You were outside looking in. And you were always looking at, maybe you had a childhood that was difficult. And even if you didn't, whatever that represents for you, it's like you were always on the outside looking in, like, oh, it would be nice to be in that warm place, all the glowing that I'm seeing, but why am I on the outside? Always feeling like I have to look into that, and I'm not invited for some reason. So you need to ask yourself if you have these complexes within you, okay? And we all have them to a certain degree, no doubt about it. But I'm just, I'm asking, and whoever's watching, take what you feel, what makes sense to you, and what hits a chord with you. So here we have the Four of Wands. This is a card of home, security, marriage, completion, synchronicity, alignment, partnership. Let's get one more card. Let's see. And death. Yeah, something really, really drastically went wrong. Like when you were a child, or you've been through a divorce, or you've been through a failed relationship, or your parents, or wherever you lived, something came to a drastic end. And you went from feeling safe and secure and happy to, like, all of a sudden it was gone. It was gone. And it traumatized you so deeply that you have not been able to, tie it together. And so you're not able to, how do I say this? You're not able to heal yourself from this, and so then you are not attracting the right energy or the right people or the right, because in your heart, your heart is still broken from this, whether you know it or not. Like, we move on, right? We move on. Yes, we can function, we live our lives, but the wound sometimes is deep inside. And even though it may not hurt anymore, you may not notice it anymore, it is still dictating a lot of aspects of your life. So look into this, whatever this experience was for you that caused you such great trauma. Maybe you lost a parent, or you lost somebody really close to you. Loss can do that to us sometimes. It can close us off because we're trying to protect ourselves, because we feel like, I don't want to lose anybody again, or I don't want them to walk away from me, or I don't want them, or want something bad to happen to them. And these are all unconscious thoughts that are kind of projecting outwards, and you're seeing how nothing comes together for you. So examine all these areas of your life. Are you afraid that if you're in a relationship, you'll lose the person, or they'll walk away from you, they'll reject you, or something bad will happen to them, or something bad will happen to you, and because of that, because it hurts so deeply, you're afraid to take a risk, because let's face it, there are no guarantees, right? There's no guarantee that the person's going to stay with you forever. There's no guarantee that they're always going to be, good to you, or everybody's human, everybody's got their ups and downs. But I always say, like, can you handle yourself if the worst happens? That is the question you need to ask yourself. And I'm single too, and many times I do ask myself that question. I do ask myself, can I handle it? And I'm not sure I can, to be very honest with you. And that's why I'm single, because if I really ask myself why, it's because the trauma that I went through in my life has been so deeply wounding that, and after which followed a lot of more like hurtful experiences, because I was in pain from the past of my childhood. And so for the longest time, I was not in a relationship, and I'm still not in a relationship, because I want to come to a place where I can truly say, I can handle it, and I'll be able to handle it. But first I have to allow myself to experience it. So maybe you're in a similar place, or maybe you're not, but let's just see what else we have. Show me more. Why are they still single? The Five of Wands is a card of conflict. It's a card of fighting. It's a card of, maybe that's what happens. Like, maybe when you're in a relationship, there's a lot of conflict, because it's all your pain that's coming up from this. Did you see how it hit this card to the side? So that's what I'm seeing here, that it is, this conflict that you've experienced is kind of kicking this on the side, and it keeps coming up for you. So you need to navigate through all this conflict inside of you. Three of Pentacles. Seek help, get therapy about it, because we do need help to get out of that loop that we've been in for a long time. Let me see. Yeah, a lot of you have been cheated on. There's a lot of mistrust, trust issues. It's difficult for you to trust because you have been cheated and people have not been honest with you. Let's see. The Wheel of Fortune. I love this card because it's saying you need to turn the wheel for yourself. Turn the wheel in your favor in love, okay? Turn it. The time has come to turn. The time has come for you to have the love that you deserve. Yes. Oh my goodness. The Hierophant is the card of marriage. It is the card of commitment.